Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome y'all back to my channel today. It's Sunday. Usually we try and do some family outings, activities on Sunday, but today it was rained about all day. Nasty rainy day, so I figured I'd do a little short video on making some homemade lasagna here in the Philippines and beer review here in the Philippines. A lot of different types of beer here, and being American, our beer taste is a little bit different than other places around the world, but you can still find some of your American beers here. And some of the products I'm going to go over that goes into the lasagna, the making of it, the availability of different ones here, and pricing wise goes. But first I like to start out with the Prego brand. In America, this is a well-known brand, and I picked this up the other day here thinking it would be like the Prego that we have back in America, but it wasn't. It was more Filipino style, which is a little sweeter than our pizza and pasta sauce that we use back home. Nothing wrong with it, it's just a little more sweeter than what we have. And this is what I traditionally use here. It's imported from America. Contania, I can't even pronounce it. But it's a pasta 4-cheese sauce made with Italian tomatoes and Italian cheese. It does. It's really good. It's a good sauce. Price is not so good. It's you're looking at about $5 to $6 for a little container of sauce. Parmesan cheese. This is American Heritage brand. It's like what you get at the dollar store or something. It's not bad. It's okay. I got my frosty mug. I got 2 of these. I picked them up at the LCC store there a couple days ago. And what I like to do with these is I like to keep them in the freezer and exchange them out. When I fill up a beer in one of them, I'll put the other one back in the freezer. It keeps them good and cold. But what I'm drinking on here is a Mig super dry, kind of a Pilsner beer. Kind of reminds me of a Coors a little bit. 5% alcohol. Not a bad beer. Not too bad. I'm not a big fan of the Pilsner beer. Some people are, but I'm not a big fan of the Pilsner beer. I like Budweiser, Bud Light, stuff like that. Back to the lasagna. The way I like to make my lasagna is I'll start out with garlic, onions, and this one I use red onions, white onions, and garlic. And I like to chop them up fairly fine, not super fine. And I do like a little extra onions and garlic in mine. You know, put in it to suit your taste. If you don't like onions or garlic, then you don't even have to put them in there at all. I have some ground pork. Unthawing, it's just about unthawed. So what I'll do with that is I'll start browning it in the skillet. And as As it starts to brown a little, I'll add the onions and the garlic to it to finish it off. You don't want to put your onions and garlic in there the same time you put your meat, because you'll overcook and scorch your onions. It'll give it a kind of a burnt scorch taste. So put your onions and garlic in about halfway through. So I'll be back in a second. I'm going to get me another frosty mug, and we will try another type of beer they have here in the Philippines. Alrighty, I've got my cold frosty mug here, and this is the American well-known king of beers, Budweiser. You can get these here. Not everywhere has them, but a lot of your bigger chain grocery stores, they'll carry them in the cans, or you can even find them in long neck bottles. And they taste just like the ones back home. 5% alcohol, St. Louis, Missouri. They're just like the ones we get at home. So let's pour this one off and give it a taste. As far as price, you're looking at 53 pesos is what I give for these a can. 53 pesos, so that would be just a fraction over $1 a beer. And you'll pay that or more back home. You go buy a 6-pack of Budweiser, you'll give about $7 for it. So it's probably cheaper here than it is back home. That's kind of odd. They can ship them around the world to another country and be cheaper than what they sell them for in our own country. But cheers to you. Good foam froth on top of that. We'll have us a drink of some Budweiser in the Philippines. Well, that frosty mug sure makes that beer ice cold, crack your teeth. But I'm gonna get this ground pork unthawed, and I will be back with you as we are frying it up. Okay, we got the pork on, the ground pork in the skillet on a kind of a low setting. Let it start to come up to a little bit of a fry. Still a couple little frozen pieces in there. It'll thaw out, let it come up slowly. This is a few of the beers picked up today for our little selection of beer choices. I tried this one earlier. It's the first time I'd ever tried it. It's a German beer, Beck's, and it's actually pretty good. It's not real Pilsner-y, it's not real hoppy. It doesn't really taste like beer that I'm familiar with back home. It's pretty good. Now this one here is a very popular beer here in the Philippines. This is their staple beer, Red Horse, extra strong. And I'm thinking it's like 6.7, 6.5% alcohol. This one, the Beck's didn't say how much alcohol that it had in it. But picked this one up, kind of hard cider, first time, or hard seltzer, first time I've ever seen these here. It's made by the same company that makes the Pilsner beers. So we'll give this one a go around here shortly and see what it's about. I drink a few seltzer beers back in America. Some of them are pretty good. They're not real sweet. I'm not a big fan of the sweet drinks. And this one is Sam Pale Pilsner. I've not tried it yet. The Samig Super Dry, wasn't a big fan of it because it was real Pilsner. I'm assuming this one's gonna be pretty Pilsnery too. So we'll load this torpedo up into the freezer and let it be getting ice cold. And we'll be back to you when we put the onions in. All right, time to put the garlic and the onions into the ground pork. So it's getting about half cooked, not browned yet, but about halfway. Been taking some of the water and the fat out of it, so we'll just dump this right on in there, best I can. We'll give that an old stir around, incorporate it into the ground pork a little bit. You can use ground beef, you can use beef and pork. Heck, I've even took bacon, chopped up bacon real fine, and done this, and it does real well. That's usually the way I make it. But a little low on bacon. I'm gonna make probably a big one this evening, maybe a double pan. Speaking of pans, I was able to find this one, made in good old America. Pyrex. It was 570 pesos. That'd be like 11 bucks for it. Make a good lasagna pan. That's why I bought it. I guess it's a bread pan, but I'm gonna make lasagna in it. So we'll be back with you guys when we're going on the next step. All right, the pork has cooked up pretty good. I like to add a little more fresh onions right at the end before I kill the heat off. And these will have a little bit more of a crunch to them instead of being cooked down. So you'll get a little bit more flavor out of these onions here. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the heat. Mix this up a little bit. And that is our meat mix that goes in our lasagna. And for our next beer, let's put our old mug back in the refrigerator. Get me another frosty one out. And we're going to try the San Miguel Pale Pilsner. Give it a go around. See what it tastes like. The last one of these, the super dry one, was real Pilsnery. I'm assuming this one will be too. We'll give her a good slow pour. Nothing like cold beer in a frosty mug. Cheers to you guys. Pretty good. I figured it would be more Pilsnery than the super dry, but it's not. Really similar to a Miller Genuine Draft. Not a Miller Lite, a Miller Genuine Draft. Pretty good. Not too bad. But we'll be back once we start assembling this lasagna. We'll catch you guys in a minute. Okay, back with you. Got this lasagna stacked up here. It's a few layers. It'll all cook down. I didn't use near all the pork. I wasn't real impressed with the quality of the pork. To me, it had a what we call a slop-fed hog smell to it as I was cooking. Real strong pork. So I went sparingly on it because I didn't want to overload it with that strong pork flavor. This is the lasagna noodles we use. Now they're instant lasagna noodle. You don't need to boil them before you use them. You just put them in dry. Comes in sheets about as big as that box, and you just break them and put them in there accordingly, dry, and they will cook as it bakes in the oven. So let's get this lasagna in the oven. I bought this little oven a few years. I think the second year I came here, and it's been a pretty good little oven, to say the least. I'm gonna put this rack on the bottom. Can. It has a rotisserie in it. You can do like rotisserie chicken and things. It's always done a good job. So I'm going to set this on about 200 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to put it on the top and the bottom with a little circulation fan in going. But we'll be back with you guys when the lasagna is ready and with another beer review. Well guys, the lasagna is finished, and I'm going to show you guys how it turned out. Pretty good looking lasagna, I do say so myself. Boo boy, what do you think about the lasagna? Do you like lasagna?
He likes Chucky.
We're getting ready to dig in. He wants him some Chucky, some chocolate milk. So, you guys have a good evening and enjoy. Hope you liked the video. A little longer than I expected, but just please like, comment, and subscribe, and appreciate all your guys' support. Made it to 700 subscribers. That's amazing. Since I've been here, people has just subscribed to my channel left and right. Biggest growth I've ever seen, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for it. Well, we're gonna get off here. We're gonna eat some dinner and call it an evening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.